I was still staring at the promotion email, rereading the line about my new salary, $128,000 a year, when the pounding started. Not a friendly knock, a demand, a warning, the kind of sound that makes your ribs tighten before your mind even catches up. I opened the door, and there they were. My mother, Vivian Locke, wearing the same brittle smile she used on church committees, and my father, Charles, already looking past me into my loft like he was assessing how much everything cost. "We were in the neighborhood," my mother said, sliding past me before I invited her in. She held a pie from a discount grocery store, the plastic lid fogged with cold. My father followed, hands jammed into his coat pockets. "Heard you got some news," he said. "A raise, right? A real one this time." My throat tightened, but I nodded. "Yes, it just came through." Vivian set the pie on my counter. "So," she said lightly, "what's the number? We might as well celebrate properly." "It's not really." "Adriana," she cut in, "please, we are your parents. We deserve to know." I swallowed. 128. My father let out a low whistle, the kind men use when they think they are entitled to something. "Well, now, that is more than we expected, more than enough for everyone." My stomach dropped. "Everyone?" Vivian's smile sharpened. "Your father and I were talking. 40% is reasonable, just until we get back on our feet." I felt something inside me shrink the way it used to when I was 16, and she told me I was selfish for wanting college textbooks. "That is not happening," I said. Charles looked at me like he was appraising a faulty engine. "You owe us, Adriana, after everything we did." "You did the bare minimum," I replied quietly. Vivian's face twitched. "Do not get dramatic. Families support each other." "Support," I said, "is not ownership." Silence fell. Thick, dangerous, familiar. If you have ever stood in front of people who claimed to love you while they tried to take your life apart, you already know the weight in my chest. And if you have ever fought to reclaim your story, stay with me. There is more to tell. My mother pulled out a folded sheet of paper from her purse, the kind printed at home on thin, curling edges. She slid it across my counter like a contract in a boardroom. "This is a simple household contribution agreement," she said. "Sign it, and we can all move forward." My father tapped the page. "It is fair. 40% of that salary leaves you plenty. You live alone. You have no kids. You do not need all that money." The words scraped inside my chest. "I earned it." Vivian sighed, the kind meant to communicate disappointment rather than exhaustion. "You earned it because we raised you." "I raised myself," I said. "You supervised." Her expression snapped. "Excuse me?" I kept my voice low. "You know what I mean." My father leaned closer, his breath sharp. "We fed you. We clothed you. You are acting ungrateful." Ungrateful. The word that had shadowed me since childhood. I remembered 16. Standing in a crowded store aisle, holding a $40 chemistry workbook while my mother hissed, "You think we are made of money? Put it back if you want dinner." I remembered 19. Being told to sign forms I did not understand, later discovering they had opened a department store credit card under my name. Those memories knifed through me now. "I am not signing anything," I said. Vivian's voice cooled to glass. "You think you are too good for us now?" "No," I said. "I just finally understand what this is." My father scoffed. "This attitude is why you left at 18. You ran out like we were the problem." "You were," I said. The air froze for a beat. Vivian's nails clicked sharply on the countertop. "Adriana, stop making everything dramatic. We are asking for help. A daughter helps her parents." "You are not asking," I said. "You are instructing." She laughed once, short and cutting. "Oh, please. Do not pretend you are some victim. You have a high-paying job. You can spare 40%. "I will not." My father's voice rose. "Then we will make you. You owe us." The old fear rose in me, tight, coiling, familiar, but it did not own me anymore. I straightened. "I do not owe you anything." My mother's mouth tightened as if she had tasted something sour. Adriana, this attitude will not get you anywhere. Sign the agreement so we can stop wasting time. My father slid the paper even closer. You are boxed in, sweetheart. Do the smart thing. Their confidence scraped against something raw inside me. I stepped back, steadying my breath. I will get something, I said. My mother lifted her brows. Finally. I walked to the fireproof safe tucked behind a cabinet. Their voices trailed after me, soft muttering, small victory sounds, as if the battle was already won. I keyed in the code, the familiar clicks grounding me, and pulled out the thick, sealed envelope I had stored months ago. When I turned, they were both watching me like predators watching the moment prey gives in. Vivian smiled. There it is. I knew you would understand. I set the envelope on the counter between us. Before you open it, I said, listen. My father reached for it anyway. I placed my hand over the flap, firm enough to stop him. His jaw tightened. My mother's smile faltered. Adriana, what are you doing? You came here for one thing, I said. Not to celebrate me, not to check on me. You came to take. Vivian's voice sharpened. Do not twist this. We need support. That is what families do. Families also give, I said, not just collect. My father leaned back, trying to reclaim control. Whatever that is, it will not change anything. You will sign. I lifted the envelope between two fingers. This changes everything. Their eyes followed it, hungry, confused. My mother whispered, Is that a check? I met her gaze. Open it and find out. My mother's fingers hovered over the envelope as if it were fragile gold. You see, Charles? She does understand responsibility. Responsibility! The word twisted in my stomach. I kept the envelope pinned beneath my palm. Not yet. Vivian's expression sharpened. Adriana, stop dragging this out. My father folded his arms. Hand it over, now. Their urgency told me everything. They did not want help. They wanted control. The same control they once had when I was too young to name what they were doing. I stepped aside and reached for my phone. I need to make a quick call. My mother's eyes narrowed. To who? I pressed the phone to my ear. Sophie, it is time. On the other end, her voice came calm and precise. Stay steady. Let them show you exactly who they are. I already am, I murmured. When I turned back, my mother was glaring at my phone like it was a threat. You brought a lawyer into this? She demanded. You brought demands, I said. I am simply matching energy. You are being ridiculous, she snapped. We are your parents. This is an internal family matter. My father jabbed a finger at the envelope. And once we open that, this whole tantrum will stop. It is not a tantrum, I said. Vivian scoffed. You always do this, making everything dramatic, acting like we harmed you somehow. Those words hit like an old bruise. I straightened. You did, I said. My father stepped forward. Watch yourself. No, I said. You watch. I lifted the envelope again, letting its weight settle between us. Vivian wet her lips. Just give it to us. Her voice held anticipation, like she believed she was seconds from winning. I placed it gently on the counter. Open it, I said, pulling my hand back. Show me how far you are willing to go. They both reached for it at once. My mother tore the envelope open with the excitement of someone opening a winning lottery ticket. Papers slid onto the counter, crisp, notarized, unmistakably official. Her smile froze. What is this? My father snatched the top page, eyes narrowing as he skimmed the header. Financial liability release affidavit? What the hell is that supposed to mean? It means, I said, keeping my voice steady, that 5 years ago you both signed a legal document stating you would never claim financial support from me. Vivian blinked rapidly, confusion and anger wrestling on her face. We never signed this. Yes, I said softly. You did. My father shook the page like the words might rearrange themselves. We would never agree to something like this. You insisted on it, I said. When I was refinancing my graduate loans, the lender required proof that I was not responsible for any parental debt. You said you were proud of me. You said you wanted to help. Vivian's voice cracked into a sharp whisper. We did not know what we were signing. You understood enough to push it on me, I said. And you understood enough to brag to your friends that your daughter was standing on her own 2 feet. My father slapped the papers against the counter. This does not mean anything. A piece of paper does not erase decades of support. Support? I asked. You mean the store credit card you opened in my name? The overdue bills you blamed on me? The years you told me I owed you for breathing? Vivian stepped closer, eyes glazing with manufactured hurt. You are twisting history. No, I said. I am correcting it. She pressed her fingertips to the affidavit as if trying to smother it. We came to you in need, and you repay us with paperwork? You came to collect, I said. My father jabbed a finger at me. You cannot use this to refuse your duty to us. It is not refusal, I said. It is boundary. Vivian's voice pitched higher. If you think this little stunt will stop us. It already has, I said. She froze. What does that mean? I inhaled, slow and even. I received the court summons 2 weeks ago. Their faces drained at the same time, as if someone had cut the power to both of them. Vivian sputtered. You knew? Yes, I said. And I know about the messages you submitted, the ones supposedly from me promising monthly payments. My father's jaw clenched. You cannot prove anything. They were sent from a TextNow burner account, I said. Carrier records confirmed it. My mother's breath stuttered. Adriana? You did not just ask for money, I said. You committed fraud. A silence spread, thick, shocked, cornered. Then a knock sounded at the door. The kind that belonged to authority. Not family. My parents flinched, and I knew the moment had arrived. The knock sounded again, firm, unmistakably official. My mother jolted like someone had yanked a wire inside her. Who is that? I kept my eyes on her. You will see. My father's shoulders squared in stubborn denial. Do not play games. We are not finished here. But I was. I opened the door to reveal a civil process server, a woman in a charcoal coat holding a folder, and beside her, Sophie Barrett, calm as ever, her posture straight and unshaken. My mother's hand flew to her chest. Sophie, what is she doing here? Sophie stepped inside with the authority of someone who knew exactly how this would end. Good afternoon, Mr. and Mrs. Locke. I believe these documents are for you. The process server extended the folder. You are being served, my father barked. Served with what? Notices regarding submission of fraudulent evidence, the woman said. Along with the hearing date for your parental support petition. Vivian staggered back as if the words struck her physically. Fraudulent? We did not commit fraud. Sophie's gaze hardened just slightly. The carrier records disagree. The court does as well. My father jabbed a trembling finger at me. You set us up. You brought her here to humiliate us. I met his glare without flinching. You humiliated yourselves when you forged messages. My mother's voice splintered. Adriana, stop this. We are family. Family is not leverage, I said. The process server nodded once, confirming signatures, then stepped away. Sophie closed the door behind her, leaving the 4 of us in a tightening silence. Vivian grabbed the back of a chair for balance. We needed help, she whispered. We were desperate. And you chose manipulation, I said. You owe us, my father snapped. We raised you. No, I said. Eleanor raised me. You managed me. The truth shook them more than any document ever could. Sophie spoke evenly. Her tone meant not to wound, but to anchor me. The court will review everything. From this point forward, all communication goes through me. My mother's face crumpled into a mix of fury and panic. "You cannot cut us off like this." "You did that," I said, "when you tried to force me into supporting you with lies." My father's voice cracked, not with softness, but with the realization he had finally lost control. "Adriana, please." It was the first time he had said my name without anger. And still, it came too late. Sophie touched my arm lightly. "It is time to prepare." Behind us, my parents stood frozen. Brochures of their own scheme now turned into mirrors reflecting exactly who they had become. 4 weeks later, I stood outside the Jefferson County District Court, the winter air thin against my lungs. Sophie walked beside me, steady and unhurried, the kind of presence that kept the ground still beneath my feet. Inside the courtroom, my parents were already seated at the petitioner's table. My mother wore a soft beige coat and the expression she saved for funerals: sorrowful, trembling, calculated. My father looked smaller than I had ever seen him, shoulders hunched, hands clasped together like a child waiting for punishment. When they saw me, Vivian straightened instantly, eyes shimmering with manufactured pain. "Adriana," she whispered, loud enough for the room to hear. "We did not want it to come to this." I said nothing. Sophie placed the evidence folder in front of us and murmured, "Keep your focus on the facts." The judge entered, an older woman with sharp eyes. "We are here for the Locke petition regarding parental support." Her gaze moved between my parents. "You may begin." My mother rose, clutching tissues. "Your Honor, we are struggling. We are in a very difficult place financially. Our daughter abandoned us. We have no one else." My father nodded vigorously. "She makes more than enough to help us. We only asked for fairness." Sophie leaned toward me. "They rehearsed this," she whispered. The judge looked at Sophie. "Ms. Barrett?" Sophie stood, composed. "Your Honor, we have several documents that directly contradict the petitioner's claims." She handed the affidavit to the bailiff. "This is a financial liability release affidavit signed by both petitioners 5 years ago, in which they legally waived all rights to financial support from Ms. Locke." Vivian gasped dramatically. "We were tricked. We did not know." The judge raised a hand. "Mrs. Locke, you signed a notarized document. Continue, Ms. Barrett." Sophie nodded, her voice unwavering. "We also have proof of fraudulent evidence. The petitioners submitted text messages allegedly from Ms. Locke promising monthly payments. Carrier records confirm these were sent from a virtual number unconnected to her." My father slammed his palm lightly on the table. "This is outrageous. She is framing us." Sophie's tone sharpened only a fraction. "Your Honor, we also have documentation that the petitioners opened a department store credit account in Ms. Locke's name when she was 19, without her consent. This establishes a long-term pattern of financial misconduct." The room shifted. Breaths held, eyes widened. Then the doors opened. An elderly woman stepped inside, walking with a cane but with a posture more resolute than anyone in the room. My grandmother, Eleanor Locke. My mother's face collapsed. "Mother, what are you doing here?" The judge looked up. "Ma'am, are you here to testify?" Eleanor nodded. "I am." Her voice was clear, firm. "Your Honor, my granddaughter has supported herself since she was 18. Her parents did not raise her. They relied on her. They took from her. And now they want the court to make it legal." Vivian shook her head violently. "Mother, stop." Eleanor's gaze cut through her. "I will not." Silence followed, heavy and revealing. The judge folded her hands. "I have heard enough." My heartbeat stilled. She continued, "Given the affidavit, the fraudulent messages, the lack of demonstrated hardship, and the testimony provided, this petition is dismissed. Additionally, fines will be issued for submitting falsified evidence." My mother let out a strangled cry. My father stared at the floor as though it had betrayed him. Sophie rested a hand near mine, not touching, just steady. "It is over," she whispered. And for the first time, I felt the truth settling in my chest, like air finally reaching a place that had been starved for years. When the judge stepped out, the room loosened. But my parents stayed frozen. Two people staring at the ruins of a plan they believed was unbreakable. Vivian was the first to speak. "Adriana, you let her turn you against us." Her voice quivered, the practiced tremble returning. "We are your parents. You humiliated us." Sophie gathered the documents calmly. "Mrs. Locke, the court ruled based on evidence, not emotion." My father looked up, eyes unfocused. "We needed help. That is not a crime." "You crossed into crime the moment you faked messages," Sophie replied. Vivian rounded on her. "Stay out of this. You poisoned her." I stepped between them, the firmness in my voice surprising even me. "Sophie did not do this. You did." My mother blinked, stunned by the interruption. My father's jaw clenched. "After everything we sacrificed, you survived," I said. "But you did not sacrifice." Vivian shook her head. "You are rewriting history." Eleanor, still seated near the gallery, spoke softly but with pointed precision. "She is remembering it correctly." My mother flinched like the words had cut her. My father whispered, "Adriana, please, we are your family." I met his eyes. "Family does not mean ownership." Sophie touched my arm lightly. "We should go." I nodded. As I turned, my mother reached out, fingers trembling. "If you walk out, you will regret it." I looked at her hand, manicured, shaking, grasping for control. "I walked out once," I said, "and it saved my life." Her hand fell. Sophie and I stepped into the hallway. The doors closed behind us, muffling whatever words my parents were scrambling to form. Sophie exhaled slowly. "You handled that with more strength than most people ever find." I swallowed the rising tide in my chest. "I just told the truth." "And now," she said gently, "you get to live it." We walked toward the exit, and for the first time, I felt the ground beneath me belong only to me. The weeks after the hearing passed quietly, almost suspiciously so. No unexpected knocks, no late-night voicemails, no letters packed with guilt and obligation. For the first time in years, silence felt like a room with open windows instead of a trap with padded walls. I moved into a smaller apartment near Union Station. High floor, clean lines, no ghosts. I bought a single velvet chair, a ceramic mug from a local artist, and a cactus that leaned toward the sunlight like it understood survival better than I did. One afternoon, as I unpacked the last box, my phone buzzed. A number from Golden. My breath caught before I answered. It was Eleanor's attorney. His voice was gentle but direct. "Ms. Locke, I am sorry to inform you. Your grandmother passed peacefully last night." My throat tightened. She did not tell me she was sick." "She insisted we not worry you," he said. "She wanted you to focus on your new life." Grief and gratitude tangled inside me. "Was there anything she left behind?" "A letter," he said. "And her home." I sat down slowly. "Her home?" "A small craftsman house in Golden," he explained. "Roughly valued at $420,000. She wanted you to decide its purpose." The next morning, I stood in front of the little house. Green trim, old porch, wind chimes that sang in uneven notes. Inside, everything smelled like lavender and warm paper. On the kitchen counter lay her letter, written in her steady handwriting. "Use this to free someone the way you freed yourself. I am proud of you, Adriana." I folded the letter against my heart. By the end of the week, the house was listed for sale. When the sale finalized, I used every cent to establish the Eleanor Fund for Independence, a local nonprofit supporting young adults escaping financial abuse from their families. I did not tell my parents. I did not need their understanding. As I left the nonprofit office after signing the founding documents, the director touched my arm. "You just changed lives." "Maybe," I said softly. "Maybe I changed mine first." And if you have ever clawed your way out of a story someone else tried to write for you, if you have ever fought to reclaim your own name, Share your experience. Someone out there might need your voice the same way I once needed mine.